Another update from the road. Having my lunch break, but I'm here on the ramp, so I didn't feel walking would be appropriate or safe, and I didn't want to leave the truck unattended out here. Anyways, since I don't eat during lunch breaks, as mandated by the DOT, I have to sit here for a half hour and my thumb up my butt, and because that's supposedly supposed to make us safe drivers, getting bored and sleepy just sitting around doing nothing. But anyways, or eating, heavy foods to make us get out on the road and be tired. But that's a whole nother topic. So I don't eat during lunch because I intermittent fast. In fact, I actually only eat one meal a day. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because if you're like me, and part of the reason I started this channel is because there's a lot of great experts out there, wonderful experts, and they don't agree. And sometimes it can be hard to decide, well, who's right? Because this one says this and that one says this, and I'm just telling you what I did, and hopefully that information will help you make a decision about what you do. So there's lots of videos and lots of experts who will tell you all about the benefits of intermittent fasting, and I am not one of them. So please, you want to learn about the benefits of intermittent fasting, have at it. You can learn about the downsides of intermittent fasting too. There's plenty of videos out there. I just don't believe them. I do believe it's a good thing. But there's one thing that I'm going to address. Is there's two particular people, and I'm not going to name them. In fact, I like one of them very much, and I believe in a lot that he says. But that's the biggest problem here. Is you come across these experts and you read their articles, watch their vlogs, or watch their YouTube videos, whatever, and 60% applies to you, or 60% is doable for you, and 40% is not, and or 40% really isn't quite applicable, and you just can't quite see eye to eye. Well, here's the problem with two particular people, one of which I use for comedy, and I like to watch his. He only does YouTube. I like to watch his stuff to see who's an idiot, and kind of gauge if I'm reading other people right. And the other one is absolutely positively, undeniably an expert in the fitness field, and I just can't agree with him on diet, and I can't agree with him on intermittent fasting because he doesn't like intermittent fasting. And the reason one gives is because it's not sustainable, and that it's not to make a happy, healthy life. The other one just doesn't believe that there's benefits in it, and it's just a cheap way of going calorie restrictions. And my problem with both of them is they were both lean people who found fitness and found their way into being fit. They did not have the weight struggles to begin with. They didn't have food problems to begin with. And that sometimes is one of the reasons why I started this, is because I'd go through all these and I'd realize the person talking to me doesn't understand what it's like to have a little bit of a food addiction. Because let's face it, I would have never been 260 pounds if I didn't have some type of food addiction, which is mental, yes, and it has a lot to do with anything. But in order to fix the problem, I have to do things a little bit different that help me address my issue. And one of those things I found was intermittent fasting. I don't know if it's sustainable. I kind of think it is. But it helps me be able to absolutely put a rule. I am not eating from here to here. And is that sustainable? Is it make me perfectly happy? No. Me perfectly happy would be elbows deep in ice cream at Baskin Robbins, all right? That's not going to work, so perfectly happy isn't a freaking option. So, sustainable? I'll make it sustainable because I didn't like that extra weight. And someday, I'm hoping through the diet and the fitness, someday I have overcome all those problems that got me to the bad place to begin with. But for now, I have to do things differently. And one of those things I decided I had to do differently was intermittent fasting. And the people who are against it, I think, are against it for the wrong reasons, because they may be experts in fitness and they may be experts in diet, but they did not take into account the mental and human factor, emotional factors that got some of us into this place to begin with, and because they were never there, and so they don't have a true understanding. And like the one guy, absolute expert, could not agree with him on diet. His diet probably works fabulous, but it will not work for me, because that's it. To even hand me the foods that got me here in the first place is a recipe for disaster. I have to wing myself off of them entirely. That's why I do mostly, keep meat heavy keto. It's all foods I love, all foods I can pile on and not do any damage to my diet. And I'm still calorie restricted. In fact, I, have problems sometimes meeting my calorie goals for the day, because I can't squeeze that much food in one time, and I have a couple hours to eat. Generally, I give myself about 2 or 3 hours to eat, but sometimes I only have an hour. The other reason I truly believe intermittent fasting works very well, especially for me, is I have a very limited schedule. And believe it or not, this is kind of freeing. It's 20 minutes of my day. I don't have to deal with it gives me extra time, because I'm not searching for food. I can't tell you how many times I made bad decisions because of food and time. I would have something in my cooler, in my truck, that would take 1 minute and 30 seconds to microwave and eat, and was kind of sort of healthy. And I would go stand in line at the fast food place for 8 minutes because I thought it would be faster and it would be easier. I made horrible decisions because of time and food. Intermittent fasting takes those decisions away, makes it real easy for me. So I do not suggest, I am not the expert. I suggest you go to experts to understand. I'm just telling you what I do, and I'm telling you why I did it. And hopefully that helps you make a decision. And because I think it's folly to follow only one particular plan to an absolute T, because it's for someone else's plan, because it's not yours. You need to individualize it. You need to make it work for you, because you're more likely to accomplish it at that point in time, because you've made it yours and you've done the research. So I've absolutely done all the research for myself. I suggest you do it for you. Here's what I've done. I truly believe it makes a big difference, and I truly believe it's important for me to be successful. Now, when I have everything all battened down and everything tied in and I'm at the perfect weight, which I'm not far off at this point in time, will I stop intermittent fasting? Not until I'm absolutely sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am capable of handling myself without it. But for now, hell, I love it. Until I start hating it, I won't even think twice about it. Well, looks like my break's just about over, so safe travels.